City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandoned Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode number 351. Excited to have you along for the ride tonight. It is going to be a busy night. This feels like a show that would be happening in like the middle of July. We've got stuff lined up all over the place. We've already got a couple of folks that are hanging out with us in the queue. We're going to be diving right into it. We're going to recap some of the stuff from Granite City over the weekend with Toast. Toast is here. Talk a little bit about that and talk about his jump up into the next level roles here that he's taken on with the Unified Point Series. We're also going to be catching up with TJ McCullough. No Mercies coming up this weekend. We're going to do a follow-up with him. We're going to catch up with Jay Baumler. Jay Baumler won 2 divisions up in Minnesota this weekend, up in Sauk Rapids. So we'll be catching up with him by phone, and then also going to be talking with Casey Smith this weekend as well. So it's about the expo that he had 2 weeks ago. Not this weekend, 2 weeks ago. Just there's tons and tons of stuff going on. Spring Explosion is coming up this weekend. It's been it very much feels like the Derby season is upon us in a way that we haven't felt in over a year. And guys, I certainly invite you to start us off there with some of those thoughts. I see TJ's hanging out there and mountains in the background, and tell me a little bit about where things are at for you. You know, we got No Mercy coming up this weekend. We just wrapped up another one, Spring Explosion. It's a feeling that's nice to have back, and hopefully everybody's appreciating that in a way that they didn't before.
Yeah, man. Derby started again whenever we were at the SMW Expo. Great event. It felt like welcome back. I got to see everybody and see exactly what was going on with everybody's plans for the year, listen to all the drivers talk about where they're heading and everything like that. But then for it to jump off now with Toast Show, go right into Spring Explosion, which the 2 shows really do kick off the Unified Point Series, which is awesome. And then No Mercy's here with that as well. We are so upset that we had to be on the same date as Derby Icons on that. We wanted to go and support that show. I personally wanted to go run it. I wish Jack Fissler and the Derby Icons crew the best turnout possible and the best driver, show that they can possibly have. But, on our end, I'm down here building the track now. We got the whole front stretch started. Grandstands are clean. I mean, it's weird being prepared this time, man. We were doing all this stuff like the day before last time, so it's kind of crazy to be a little bit more organized and a little bit more confident and getting things prepped here, so we're ready.
How about you, Toast? I mean, it's nice to knock the rust off a little bit, get the first one under the belt, track shot, stream the whole thing end to end, and it sounded like the weekend went off as well as you could have hoped, and it exceeded the expectations of everybody there in person. The fans were excited to be there, to the point where it was a sellout plus. I mean, there's really no better feeling than that.
Yeah, I've never had the feeling I have to tell somebody they can't come in. That's the only bummer about it. But yeah, other than that, it was an amazing show. It was a new show for us. We started a new class with a stalker build. So yeah, it definitely turned out a lot better than I was anticipating, because I figured being the new class, new track, new place, it was going to be a nightmare. But it was pretty smooth. Got to thank the crew for that, because if it wasn't for everybody that was part of this, it wouldn't have went as smooth.
So you have increased your participation with the Unified Point Series this year. Went from 1 show jumping up to 5 on the schedule. What was the catalyst for that part of things? I mean, TJ just mentioned how he wanted to get more shows on the schedule. Mark, a number of times where we've talked to him, he's talked about how he's not necessarily turning people away, but it was a whole lot easier to fill the schedule up this year. What changed things for you?
We wanted to get in it last year. It was just kind of one of them things where we already had stuff planned and he already had shows planned, and it just wouldn't work out. So we just went ahead and joined in on it and sponsored and helped out as much as we could. And this year I kind of told him I wanted to make every show that we had a point show if it was possible on his schedule.
Tell me a
So
little
we
bit.
was kind of,
Go ahead.
I said, we just kind of lucky that we got as many as we did on his schedule because he has a pretty booked schedule this year. So I feel for Mark on that one.
It's approaching like 40 shows. I mean, thankfully he put a cap on it. Last year, Mark was willing to take a little bit after the season had begun just to sort of get everybody up and running so that the schedule was full. This year it was no issue whatsoever to fill that out. And TJ wasn't able to get the spring show in place, but able to put the Burrito Live date coming up in October. That's able to be on there. What does it mean for the sport to have this type of thing in place? Because generally, let's play a little devil's advocate here. Generally, the point series turn into the point series have the tendency to turn into the go broke and get out of demolition derby things. The dates are too close together. The rules are asimilar, so that you have to build different cars. You have to spend a bunch of money. You almost have to have 2 running sets in order to do that. It's division by division. This is something different, and we haven't really gotten that specific thing that says this is the end goal. We want to reach this target number. We want to reach this one. It's always been and I do the same thing. We just want to find a way to make Demolition Derby better and do something better for the sport. Why is it so important to get your dates on this calendar, and what is that helping your drivers with?
I think the biggest part of it is just giving the drivers the opportunity, no matter where you're from, to be a part of this point series if you want to be.
It's a perfect answer.
That's a big thing for me, is I wanted to give guys that never even knew about it a chance to even try for it. So they might have not known about it before, and then they go to a county fair that's got a points show, and then they earn points, and they realize, like, I might have a chance on this.
Sure.
And that just opens their eyes up to the whole what else is out there, I guess.
I like that. It's at this point in Demolition Derby, it seems like we've got a very clear tier level. There's the county fair level, there's the regional level, and there's the national level. And it almost, and this is a conversation that we've had before, but it seems like nobody ever gets bored of it, of the debate. It seems like folks almost need to have this put in front of them and have this type of stuff brought to their doorstep for them to believe that they have the opportunity or the ability to compete at levels beyond where they are at. And we've had
everybody needs that little push.
Yeah, I mean, is that fair?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, you're going to stay within your comfort zone until somebody pushes you to get out of it. And I think once you get out of your comfort zone, you don't really care for it, don't really like it. But once you get there, you're like, this ain't so bad. It could have been worse.
Well, just the idea of not being able to, or not willing necessarily to jump out of your comfort zone, it's almost confusing to me, because there's been so many conversations where you don't have any business pulling out onto that derby track if you don't think you can win. But at the same time,
I got mixed feelings about that, because there's times that I go to Derby just to have fun.
Yeah.
I don't even care about winning, and those are normally the times that I do win.
Of course.
It's weird how that works out, because, I mean, like a couple of years ago, I went to the state fair, threw a car together to help a guy out, because I've done good there. But he was wanting to go. He said, man, you going to go? I was like, I don't really have nothing, but I got some junk here we can throw together. I had a guy take my car there where I was gathering my stuff, and we finished putting together at the track. And somehow I end up winning.
So, TJ, I know we've talked privately about things like this, and talked a little bit about Maryland and their landscape there with that upper part of Virginia and lower part of Pennsylvania. What's some of your thoughts on some of these topics that we were just kind of hitting on?
So I am a local county fair guy, and I never ever would have imagined running against a guy like Toast or Don Santel, Pete Hansen, and it does kind of push me to learn and to grow as a driver. But one of the main things as a promoter that I tried to do is I wanted to give those county fair guys a chance to run for some big money. And that's what I tried to do with the first Buried Alive event with the 10,000 to win. I mean, I'm very proud of our drivers list, but our drivers list isn't usually made up of the top upper echelon, names in the sport, if you will, or whoever applies, who those people are. It's more, of the mid-range guys taking a shot at some big money, which is really, really cool to see. And what I like about that is that you might go to a show in Indiana, like either one of Toe's shows. You go to like a Mayhem, and you got to run a pro mod class to try to score points. But then you could come out here to like Buried Alive. You can go to some other places and run a stock class and score points. And that's what I like about Mark's. Anybody can win that. And what would it be for someone like I always use Don Santel's name just because he was right there in the thing, and he ran a lot of stuff here locally last year, and he runs mods, and he ran the hobby stock and hardcore full size here. It wouldn't be hard for him to drop down and run a stock class, and being one of the better drivers in the country, you'd think he'd have a good advantage with that. But that can kind of level the playing field. And like Toe said, you might not even be thinking about running points until you score some. Like am I right in saying that Don finished second the other night and got 8 points? Literally, this is the funniest thing, because literally I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, an opening. It's like he only scored 8. Like, okay, that means if we can get a win and get 10, like there's I know there's a lot of guys out there, like, only scoring 8 points in an event last year would have been really, really hard for one of the top two guys. And I really like it. And my favorite thing about it is when you're on the Unified Point Series, that means Mark Elliott is coming to do your announcing, and he's the best in the game.
Right. So Toast, talking about getting outside your comfort zone, you've certainly embraced everything that comes along with the promotership and continue to expand and continue to gain traction and recognition. Jumping outside your comfort zone as a driver, moving into promoters, and then getting more comfortable in that hat, how things changed as Toast Promotions has evolved.
It's came a long way. I mean, we've only been doing this for, I think this is the 4th year as a group in general. So it's came a long way from where we started, I feel like. I mean, we still make mistakes, and we try to improve every year on the mistakes we made instead of looking at what we was good at. Mm-hmm. Try to focus on what we had problems with to kind of keep making, I guess, setting the bar higher for ourselves, so that way there's no end in sight, I guess. You just keep trying to push yourself to be better, keep trying new ideas, try new things. I mean, that's what I'm interested in, something different. I mean, it don't hurt to try a new thing, so that's kind of what we're trying to do this year.
That came out of the blocks very strong with Smith Metalworks doing the Derby Expo. We've seen trade shows, we've seen swap meets, we've seen get-togethers and parties and things of that nature, but we haven't seen anything that is running in parallel with the motorsports expos that you see in dirt modified and late model and sprint car racing. And that's kind of where that Smith Metalworks Expo fell in, whether it was by design and with intent or not. That was the lane that thing ended up filling, and you had the opportunity to do a presentation there. How did all of that go?
It went a lot smoother than I thought, because I'm not a real public speaker. This is kind of during the promotion part of it. That's when I had to start getting out of my comfort zone and talking to the drivers and stuff like that. I think it went very well. I got a lot of questions answered, I think, that people had questions with. I mean, I've actually had guys call me and ask me questions about the stuff that I was talking about. So it's out there, so it's working, I guess. And that's another thing with the trade show thing, like you was talking.
We'll just hold tight just 1 second here. There we go.
If we're live, unless we're just talking to each other.
No, we're back. We got you back.
There he goes.
Yep. We got you back. So you were talking a little bit about some folks asking questions and sort of the conversation. Again, building on that comfort zone thing, is if people are asking questions, then they must feel more comfortable with the topic of installing the watch links. And you were talking about having been around some of those expos at various intervals at different times in your career. I trust you were going the direction of motorsports, such as racing and circle track stuff, not necessarily demolition derby.
Right. Yeah, it was mainly just automotive parts vendors and stuff like that.
So your talk focused on the installation of the links that you build specifically for the rear end configurations. Did anybody that had called and inquired just say that it was kind of a eureka moment, that it's not as intimidating as they thought once they saw it done or explained?
No, not really. I mean, and that's kind of something that I talked to a couple guys beforehand. I was like, being you build the parts and you run the cars all the time, you might not think people have the questions they have until they ask you, and you're like, man, I never even thought about explaining that.
Sure.
So that was kind of nice to get some people's questions out in the open to see what they was thinking and the questions they had.
Right on. I like that. TJ, show us more of the landscape that you got out there. I mean, the sights that are coming in on your video are outstanding.
Well, the funny thing was there is I was running around trying to find an iPhone charger there, so I didn't lose you guys. So it's what you see. I was like, I hope they can't see me running because I am not in shape at all to run. But so you got these beautiful giant backdrops up here. The clouds are beautiful today. I mean, this is definitely one of those places that is, in my opinion, a bucket list place to run as far as scenery and as far as the track. Big, giant grandstands. They're working on the track now. Big, giant track, solid. We do have a little water issue we're getting out of here right now.
Oh, boy.
But, I mean, this place is absolutely huge. And then just a beautiful all around. We're looking at about like 62 degrees this weekend. So, I mean, in my opinion, that's like perfect golf weather. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about this. This is interesting. Toast, you got it. At some point in time, I'm going to have to send you a list of the messages that I actually got from so many people that said, wow, I watched Toast's video and didn't realize I was putting a watch link in wrong this whole time.
That's why I say that you don't realize the questions that are out there, because a lot of people they're not so much afraid as they don't want to sound like they're asking a stupid question.
The only dumb question is the one not asked, is what I've always been told.
Exactly.
What about you, TJ? I mean, you sort of got into that the promotership thing and a little bit of the comfort zone conversation that we've had before, talking about what you're doing, and you come from a completely different realm, and your perspective is way, way different in terms of putting on a show. You're not just about putting on a good derby. You are putting on a show.
Right. I mean, I think that's the main goal for every promoter, is put on the best show possible, in my opinion. Because if you're not putting on a show, who wants to come watch it?
I'm not
I was telling TJ about his show. I was like, I had it on the garage on the surround sound while I was welding and stuff, and I heard that purge thing come on, and I was like, what's that? And I ran over just to kind of see what was going on, because it gets your attention.
TJ, I defer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've always said that ours is productions, not promotions. I try to make that very clear to people, that we are going to entertain the people that pay you. And any promoter will be honest with you. The more fans we get, the more we can do, the more we can give back to the drivers. And I mean, we're really blessed that things are going well, so we can do that this year. And I have some crazy stuff planned in a non-COVID world. I mean, like full 100% capacity, do whatever you want. I have some wild stuff, and it is so hard to channel that and not throw that out right now and waste it. And plus, you don't want to give them everything at once. And do not miss the opening to No Mercy. That's all. I want to say that. Don't miss that. I mean, I know people are going to miss the Purge. It'll be back. The Purge only happens once a year. It'll be back in October. But we got something different for you. We're coming. We're showing no mercy, and we're definitely coming to entertain. I can tell you that much. The Mercenary car will be unveiled at the beginning of the show at No Mercy to start the entire show. You're not going to want to miss that car.
Are you going to rise out of a giant Jack-in-the-Box that is turned by a Harley Quinn-type Sister Abigail character?
Oh, I know my wife's listening right now. She knows how I feel about Alexa Bliss, so I got to be careful on this one. I got to be careful here. Yeah, maybe Dead Girl can do it. Oh my, yeah, Kayla's definitely my Harley Quinn for sure. She's definitely taken on this other persona. I mean, Mark Elliott was calling her Dead Girl up there at the expo, and I was like, well, I mean, now that kind of fits, honey. You got to go with that one, and we were having a little bit of fun with that. But definitely, we have not released the driver of the Mercenary car yet. I was really disappointed that you and Brian, personally turned me down, but we haven't told anybody who that is yet.
You don't want me in that car.
What's that?
You don't want me in that car. You better have a helicopter on standby if you're putting me in that car.
Well, the thing is, we had told the drivers, you get 30, we get to build it how we want. And I'm deeply concerned that, man, I don't even know what to say. It's going to be so much fun to watch people run. They're going to run. I guarantee you. They're going to tuck their tail between their legs and they're going to run when they see what it is. I've posted some pictures of the car. People don't believe me what it is and everything like that because I lie to everybody about that kind of stuff just to kind of keep them going. So only a couple of people that have been in the garage truly know what it is. And I cannot wait to unveil the driver, and we're not going to unveil the driver of the Mercenary car until about 5 minutes before the heat runs. So there's no politicking at all.
Nice. Very nice. We are going to catch up with Jay Baumler here in about 10 minutes. While we're on the topic, now would probably be a good time. No Mercy is April 23rd and 24th, 2021. Coming up this weekend. Friday is the 3-man compact heats and 80s Pro Stock heats, half-ton trucks and SUVs. Saturday, that's the last chance event. You're going to be able to see the Mercenaries run, full-size Mercenaries. That one and done's paying $3,000 to win. Youth compact divisions, $800 to win. The Imperials are $2,000 to win. Minivan, mini truck, SUV, that's $1,200 to win. Full-size team, one and done. The Deadman compacts, the 70s and 80 Pro Stocks, that's $8,000 to win. 3-man compact teams paying $6,000 to win. Online for additional details, deadmanderby.com. A lot of our conversation here in the first stanza of the show is about the Unified Point Series. Unified Point Series. The fifth is Toast Bartholomew County Fair in Columbus, Indiana, and Rouse Promotions Wayne County Fair. That's back in Portland as well.
Somehow or another, I will be blamed for the internet.
That's I'm not sure why it keeps dropping the way that it is in the meeting, but we do have everybody back once again. Toast. Before we cycle on to the next topic, I wanted to get Toast's thoughts on the Growth of River City Rampage. That is also part of the Unified Point Series, May 7th and 8th. That's happening in Henry, Illinois.
Yes, sir. That is we're going to actually start inspecting cars Thursday this year to kind of relieve some of the pressure off the drivers and us, kind of spread things out a little bit. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. And then instead of just leaving everything open after inspection, we're going to run them all back through the inspection on the lifts to make sure that nothing got changed or added in the pits while they was tying everything down and getting it ready for inspect. So
for sure,
that's going to be interesting.
But then you go from something gigantic like River City Rampage, standalone show, and then you turn around and you're working at the county fair level, which it ties in well with what you were saying earlier. You got to kind of bring it to them and give them the opportunity to run, which is what the whole point of the Unified Series is. Give people the opportunity to see what the deeper waters are like, to test it out and see if it fits.
Right. That's kind of like I was telling Nick down in Granite City this weekend, and about if all the guys on the Point Series would pick a class that fills every show they got, and we all get together and say, TJ has his class, we have our class, Hardcore has their class, and they bring their people. We go to all of each other's shows, bring our own crews, inspect our own classes. And then that way you can go wherever you want pretty much and run the car that you're used to running.
So
I don't know if it's ever a possibility, but it'd be cool to see something like that happen.
So I'm with you to an extent. I think that it would be good for the sport to see something like that happen. I think that it's becoming further away from that. Friday the 28th, that is the compact heats, the 2,000 to win youth class, mini trucks, 10,000 to win street stocks, and the full-size truck. Saturday the 29th, power wheels, compact consolation
It's a little
round, pro
difficult,
stock, and kicker.
with
class.
some of the interpretations of the rules. But other than that, I mean, I think we could. It's a possibility that it could happen for sure.
Right.
I'd like to think
it's so close now. I don't see why it couldn't.
You're right. That's just it. Is it so close now? I don't see why it couldn't. Before trying to ask one promoter or another to say one promoter's rules are what we're going to adopt or not, you've got too many. That's too many cooks ruin the stew, so to say. You know. But now by having individual rule sets under a particular promoter, bringing some people around and spreading that opportunity around, I think you're onto something with that.
I mean, there's a lot of stock classes in the Unified Point Series, so, I mean, there's no reason guys couldn't make that happen, even stay in the rules. If you wanted to go run, I know guys that run big cars don't want to run mini cars or stuff like that, but if you're running for the points and you're in the top and there's a show that's local to you or you don't mind driving to and you can get a mini car together, why not throw it together? We're all out there to have fun, smash cars. It don't matter what you're in as long as you're having fun.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Any additional thoughts on the point series? River City Rampage, they can follow up. Just throw Toast Promotions into Facebook. You can find all the links and all the information there. Has everything been filled at this point for River City Rampage?
Everything's been filled. I've been hearing some talk about some people not coming or whatever like that, so I'm not sure if everybody's going to make it, but I haven't got 100% answer from nobody if they're not going to make it. So as far as I know, everything is full still.
Awesome. And then how about for you, TJ? On that can be found on, and boy, the lag issue. Holy cow! Can't even get back to the producing suite at the moment.
Days, when it's down in the crunch time. I mean, no matter what you got done, this last week is every single day is 24 hours a day, trying to make sure we can put on the best show for our fans and for our drivers, and that's what we're doing. But we have some spots left open in pro stock. We shot for the moon, going for 80. I think we have like 60 some. There are a couple spots available. We're taking people to show up for that. It's a full cradle pro stock. People asked us for that, so we gave it to them with all the protectors and everything like that. So we'll see how that goes. We told them if they dictate their own pace, we'll have them back. If they don't dictate it, we're going to dictate it for them, and they're not going to like how we do it. We're going to turn them up. We're going to do something different. I'm just going to tell them, listen, if you don't want me to mess with you, handle it on the track.
Right.
If you don't,
Absolutely.
That's not, we're just going to throw the first person out that ain't hitting wide open. We're going to give you a chance to drive, but you're going to do it aggressively, whether it's defensively or offensively. We want you to do it aggressively. Have a purpose to what you're doing. No putting back and forth with the guy beside you. If you're that worried about that guy beside you, turn left and hit him.
There you go.
Right. And that was something else I wanted to talk about the not the Granite City, but River City Rampages. We've had some more interest in the youth class. So I believe we're going to open that up to a total of max 40 because I don't think we can fit much more than that and still have a decent track. But I don't want to hold the youth out of the show because we only capped it at 25. We figured it would be kind of rough getting it filled, but there's been more interest. So we are going to open up the youth compacts at River City. So if anybody's watching that are on the waiting list, we will be contacting you here shortly.
Awesome. That's good news. Guys, I appreciate you coming on the show. And I apologize for the internet issues. I've been able to pinpoint a little bit where we're running into some processor spikes, which is making a lot of latency issues. So I don't want to keep making you suffer through the drops and stuff like that. I appreciate you coming on the show. Any final thoughts, Toast?
get out there and support your local county fairs and promoters. It's Derby season.
How about you, TJ?
God bless Demolition Derby, baby. It is back. It's in full swing. We're kicking it off. I cannot wait. I hope you're on your feet no matter what state you're in at a Derby this weekend. Get on your feet and let them drivers know that you're there, and go support. Just like Toe said, every promoter out there deserves a fair chance at putting on a show for you. Go out and support everybody. Thank you to Crash Course for giving us an awesome platform to showcase our shows. Just God bless you all. You have a wonderful day, and please.
For some reason we've got stream issues all over the place. Looks like everything is still on its feet for the most part everywhere. But we're gonna press on with the rest of everything. You guys know all about it. We mentioned it. We mention it every week, but I don't want to leave anybody behind on this one, just in case you happen to be underneath the rock. As TJ said, Demolition Derby is back and in full swing, May 28th through the 30th, 2021. Bash for Cash is returning as well. Rolls County Fairgrounds in Chillicothe, Ohio. The 2,000 win standalone divisions for the Frank the Tank Old School Wire class, Youth Small Car, the Street Stocks, the Relic class, the 63 and older division, 3 one-and-dones for the 80s wire class, the super stocks, the full-size trucks, compact trucks, you name it. There is something for everybody. Over 600 cars have registered for competition at the Bash for Cash, and if the border was open, there would be even more. So jump online, smashitderby.com. Jeffy's Fab Farm, recognized as an industry leader in all manner of purpose-built demolition derby parts, starting with rear ends in 2006. Jeffy's Fab Farm expanded to headers in 2008, and the shop can boast a combined 70-plus years of mechanical skill. Jeffy's Fab Farm specializes in LS conversions, conversion components with consistent feature wins across North America. Your turnkey solution is only a phone call away. Jeffy's Fab Farm. The Camarina Box campaign sets you up for success at a retail price of $525. You need to ask about the multi-fit shifter options when you call in. You're also going to find fuel and air parts, suspension and transmission items, steering components, pedal switches, and gauges. If you need it, you can find it on the farm, jeffysfabfarm.com. So, as we continue to fight some currents, the knocking down the Zoom meeting did not fix everything the way that I thought that it was going to. So we're going to just work off the phones and make the most of this. Try and give Jay Baumler a couple minutes of recognition, picking up 2 wins up there at in Sauk Rapids. It was streamed live by Track Shot. Hey Jay, it's Chris. Can I put you in? All right. So Jay Baumler joining us here. Jay, how are you?
Good. How are you?
We're doing okay. Congratulations are in order, to say the least, man. Well done.
Thank you.
So that's got to rank up there as one of the best weekends that you've ever had as a Derby driver.
Yes, that definitely is my best weekend.
Tell me a little bit about it. I mean, this was absolutely outstanding to come away with a couple wins in the weekend the way that you did. That's not something that you get a lot of opportunities to do, and then you did it in the full-size classes. That's pretty cool.
Yep, I went out there. I had no expectations to win both derbies. I mean, my kicker car, everybody knows that was Jason Brodzinski's car.
Sure.
We went out there. I mean, we go to have fun, and to win that was awesome. I was happy. That could have been the weekend for me. And then to go into the Minnesota Classic and come down to the top 3 against Alan Hockey and Brandon Johnson, you know, right there, that was great enough right there for me too. There were 2 good drivers. I know them both really well, and it came down to the 3 of us, and I think we put on a good show. Some people disagree, but I mean, there were 3 friends going at it at the end, and we tore the cars up. They're junk.
Right.
So, and to pull off the win after that, I mean, I probably couldn't do it again if I wanted to.
Well, the bank doesn't care how hard you drove it, and nobody that's criticizing you necessarily has been in the spot where they got to beat on some friends to take home that kind of money either, right? Right? Uh-oh. This can't be. This is a cursed show. What is happening? Jay, we still got you? Jay? One of a kind. Youth Compacts over at Granite City. Chelsea McCullough took the win in the Youth Compact side of things. Devin Lunderville also finding some success out there, coming up with a second-place finish. Jacob Steele was in third place. In Stock Compact, it was John Schultz. I think that's the same John Schultz that I recognize from running trucks out in Minnesota. John Schultz, Austin Branford, and Jacob Brunson in Stock Compact. Truck side, Hunter Mart topping Jacob Ertl and Jason Schmidt. Hunter Mart picking up some special awards there as well. As we said, Jay Baumler, Don Santel, Joe Molman. In the mod side of things, wanted to try and get the chance to talk to him a little bit about this. I'll try and call him one more time. Shane Daring won the 80 stock class over Andy Blommet and Nate Steele, and then Jay Baumler winning over Brandon Johnson and Alan. Hey, did we lose you? Yeah. All right. So, if the Derby gods are willing, we're going to try and finish this. We talked a little bit about how the Minnesota Classic full-size class played out. Probably just as thrilling for you to be locking horns with Don Santel and Joe Molman.
Oh, yes. I just got back in the Derby a few years ago, so, I mean, I don't know the drivers all that well, a lot of them. And Jason Brzezinski, he's like, do you know who Don was? I'm like, no. I mean, I talked to him in the pits and stuff, and he's like, yeah, he's like one of the guys that's king of the ring. And he's like, how'd that make you feel? I'm like, it's an honor to run with great drivers like him and other drivers that are there. And like I said, it was just a great weekend. Now I'll probably never beat it.
Tell me a little bit more about your return. Why'd you get out of the sport, and what brought you back?
I got out of it. I did it for a long time when I was back in high school, and then I got in a snowmobile accident. Mm-hmm. So that kind of took me out of the game for a while, and then I got into circle track racing. And then I got back out of that, and I just been around cars all my life. I'm like, I got to get back into something. So you got back in the Derby. And
sure. Well, it's a heck of a return, and certainly paying off at this point. When you went out there, we were talking with Toast a minute ago, and sometimes he said it's more fun to just go out and have fun, and whatever happens, happens. Other people say that you got to have that killer mentality, and every time you pull into the track, your mindset is that you're going to win. Where were you at with your two runs this weekend? I mean, two different builds, two different caliber of car. One of them came out of Jason Brzezinski's shop, as you said. So where were you? Was it just, hey, go see what happens, or was the goal to try and bring home the checkered flag?
I mean, I went out there to have fun. I was hoping to get, up towards the top. The kicker class, I know I had a strong car. I mean, like you said, it's a well-built car. I knew I had a decent chance. I didn't know if I had a big target on my back, and I honestly thought maybe everybody was coming for me. But, I mean, everybody kind of spread out, and we all did our thing, and that one turned out well. We got the win. And then in the Classic, my biggest thing I wanted to go out there was just to keep the front end clean on the car, and keep the radiator and stuff in it, and it all ended up playing out well at the end.
Was that your drivetrain, or was that or did that come with the car that you got from Jason?
That was all Jason's. I bought the whole car turnkey.
Now, Matt Tice bought a car, and I think that was a Ryan Songalewski car, and he took that and he ended up winning the mod class at Blizzard Bash. Is this from that same time frame, or is this the wagon?
This is Jason's wagon.
It's the wagon, the one that went down to Florida.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I wanted to just clarify that because I got thinking that might not be the car that I'm thinking of. So, well, that's I trust it probably has another run or 12 on it, right? Left in it?
It's been ran, I think, 4 or 5 shows, yes.
Yeah, and it's probably got more left.
Oh yes.
it's not gonna be junk until you're tired of running it.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome. So how many messages have you sent to Mark Elliott to maybe see if he would be willing to open it up so you can score points in multiple divisions? 2 wins isn't a bad way to start the year.
I haven't messaged anybody. It's been a long weekend. We got back and we went right back don't really set any schedule on any derbies that we're going to run.
One of the rules with the Unified Point Series is you can only score once a weekend, or once an event. So if it's a one-day show and you run 2 divisions, you keep your best points total from that night, but you don't get to keep the other division, and those points don't get awarded to anybody else. They just go unclaimed. So at this point, Jay is sharing because of 2 wins, is sharing in the points lead because he picked up a win, and I didn't really see anybody else that had scored any points at first glance to shuffle that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but still, that's heck of a weekend, heck of a return. Was this the first chance that you had to run one of Toast's shows?
I ran their October show. What was that one? The Minnesota Throwdown.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yep, I ran the Minnesota Classics there too.
Gotcha. I know you said that you, Scott Kiefer in the chat. Yes, I do. I'll get that link put up there. I know you said that you don't map out a schedule, but there's some other events that are coming down the line. Is it something that you're willing to put a little bit more consideration into, given how things have gone?
Yeah, we'll definitely think about it.
Awesome.
We got a new motor and everything. We just ran the new Collier in our Minnesota Classic car, and that was the first run on it. And so, I mean, we got a good drivetrain in both cars, so we'd like to get back out there and do it again.
Awesome. Well, I sure do appreciate you coming on and making some time for us. Anybody that you want to make mention of in terms of people that helped you get there, buddies that helped build the car, anything like that?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my friends and family, my wife and stuff, and my parents. They've always been there, and they're behind me 100%. And my friends, they know who they are. They're there to help me out, and Jason and his family and stuff for the car. And everybody in the Derby world, I wish them all good luck and all be safe.
Certainly is nice to get some Derby action back, isn't it?
Yes. The last year was a long year without it.
Well, congratulations again on the win, and we wish you the best, man. Let us know how things are going this summer, and hopefully you find some time to find Victory Lane a couple more times.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Jay.
Thank you.
Goes Jay Baumler. Scott Kiefer is asking about apparel for sale. I will get that link up. We've posted before from the Streamlabs store. You should be able to find some stuff in there. We'll share that in a little bit here once we get. I'm afraid to even touch the computer at this point. I'll be quite honest. Let's see. We didn't do hardcore yet, I don't believe. May 15th is the May Meltdown for the Hardcore Tour. Frankie Guy's hanging out in the chat. It's been a challenge, to say the least. May Meltdown is going to be the start of the year. A lot of support coming in the chat. I appreciate it, guys. June the 12th is Destruction on the Knob in Markleysburg. June the 26th, Mayhem on the Mountain. July gets busy. Destruction on the Knob, July the 10th. And then July the 24th is King of the Hill at Jacktown Fair. July 29th to August 3rd and August 6th, Destruction in Dunbar. Chaos in Cole County at the Greene County Fair is August the 13th. The 14th and the 20th is Washington War Zone. Washington, PA, the 4th and 5th of September is Labor Day Lockdown in Stoneboro. September 7th and 8th is the Route 40 Rumble in West Alexander. And then the season concludes with a $3,000 Mad Dog Award and the Final Confrontation finale. $10,000 to win Final Confrontation event in Dunbar, Pennsylvania, the 25th and 26th of September. Additional details are available online, hardcorederbypromotions.com. Smith Metalworks, they had that Demolition Derby Expo that we were talking about that everyone loved so much. Additional details available on smithmetalworks.info. I'm sure another one is forthcoming. They are an all-purpose fabric shop that has taken the Northeast by storm. Smith Metalworks features more than 40 years of combined metalworking experience. The hallmark of the production line is that, yes, the 15th is a unified point show. Frankie pointed that out. We had that on the schedule slide for the unified point series right there. May the 15th. Hardcore's May Meltdown in Stoneboro, Pennsylvania. And then their next one is going to be June the 12th. There it is. Just making sure that the folks that help make sure that we can keep the lights on know that we were talking about them. Smith Metalworks. The hallmark of their production line is that super stock bumper. There's a pointed version, a flat front bumper, replicating popular factory releases. You look at it, you know immediately what it is. They can be run stuffed or hollow. There's also a compact version of the pointed bumper. Other items include Crown Vic door skins, battery boxes, engine mounting systems, pedal combos, and shifters. The shop offers all the odds and ends, such as distributor clamps and weld-in centers. Be sure to ask about the GM floor liners. Rust problems are no longer a problem. In-person locations in Mercer, Uniontown, and Bethlehem. You can also get it shipped right to your door. Experience and passion, second to none. SmithMetalworks.info. So, rounding the corner on the final leg of our complicated journey this evening. Going to catch up with Casey Smith just to kind of recap everything that happened out there at Smith Metalworks Expo. Everything went exceptionally well for everyone. It really surpassed expectations. And is it Casey? Hey, it's Chris.
Hey, how are we?
It's been a little rocky, but here we are.
It's 6:45 plus, ain't it?
It's a little bit. Sorry to get you so late. I just wanted to get you.
Right.
I just wanted to get you some of your thoughts on the expo as a whole. We didn't get too deep into that last weekend out of respect to basically the entirety of the Northeast community and the passing of Martin Gully. But my man, everything sounds like it was a hit.
Yeah, and of course, our hearts go out to the Gully family on that. It was, of course, I don't need to probably elaborate, but yeah, going back to the expo. Well, obviously, I still don't know what time it is, and it's a week later. But I gotta first say thanks to everybody who covered the event for us, promoted the event. And absolutely everybody that set up as an exhibitor, promoter, vendor, and absolutely everybody that showed up to support it and get all that you could get out of it from the Derby, attendees themselves. It was absolutely short of. I'd have to say that it was just pretty amazing in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. So definitely a wonderful time.
It seemed like it went over very well. How did the seminars go? I mean, it was interesting to talk with Toast a little bit earlier, where he said that there was people asking questions that they might have been holding their questions back because they didn't want to ask a question with an obvious answer. But at the same time, somebody who's done this over and over and over again, he's getting questions that he never even thought of putting time into explaining. So it was really, really sort of interesting.
Yeah, I mean that was the really interesting part about doing the seminars. We structured it with what we felt was some very knowledgeable people and regarding products or their field, and I think it was great for both ends. Not only the people sitting in to ask the questions, but the people in the presentation end to get some questions that maybe they never encountered before because of how we had it structured in the format, being an educational type outline instead of just a sales side. So I think everybody walked out of that room with a tremendous amount of, answers and also some future stuff to build on for some help for areas. But it was great because a lot of times, it's just like a classroom environment. We all remember sitting in high school or wherever and, you're afraid to ask that question because, of the several things that can come out of it. But at the end of the day, a lot of times just having the reassurance that maybe you're doing something correctly or the way somebody intends it or just understanding it as a whole, I think it was a very valuable thing to have there during the day.
How did Jeffy do?
Jeffy's Fab Farm, absolutely tremendous. I mean, it's bringing that element of, we're going to talk about some basic pointers on driving and what he deems successful and basic tactics on the track, defensively and offensively. Him asking everybody sitting in the chairs a couple questions and being interactive. I think, even veteran drivers, could agree with a lot of the content he had. So
awesome. He was taking it very seriously and was trying to be very prepared to make sure he was sharing some good information. And Jeffy's one of the guys that, and he'll admit it, that he is so into his craft. he will start talking about the science of why things work and the science of different metals and the science of gears and carburation and engines and all this other stuff. And sometimes in the conversations that I've had with him and I've seen it happen to others, the eyes just kind of glaze over because this is so much information beyond of what you can even wrap your head around. He is invested in his craft, and I really enjoy talking to him, even though a lot of times when I walk away, I feel dumb.
Well, I like to think that I'm pretty well rounded in this sport, and I'll tell you, after listening to everybody in every seminar, you walk out of there thinking, boy, I should probably keep my mouth shut sometimes.
Right.
But going back to number one, I got to talk to a lot of promoters about the drive behind our push for the youth divisions with every promoter, and I think everybody's seeing the value in it. They're also seeing that people are kind of asking for it, no matter where you're from. So I commend all the promoters, Toast, this Minnesota show that just happened. I mean, the youth program is really great, and I think everybody's taken it to what they can do with it. And I think everybody is earnest in trying to do it the right way also. So it's tremendous. I think it's something that every promoter should look at, because I've went back to this before, rodeo, sports, football, you name it, go-karting. A lot of kids are started at a youth age, to get them the advantage or, keep them in something that you've drug them around to all their life anyway, so you might as well give them a chance to start participating.
The Smith Metalworks Derby Expo #1, did it outgrow the facility before it even started?
The first one we were the ship was full. Number two, we made some serious adjustments and utilized more floor space, and the ship was fuller. So yes and yes, we've exceeded our capacity as far as what we can do inside. We do have a little more to do outside. We addressed the parking issues. I had 3 great young parking attendants that did fabulous, and I got to give them some recognition, because them kids were out there all day directing people, and I think that really helped. And Carly and Chase Grimm and my great nephew Lane Smith, so they were key elements to organization. The little things, but we definitely are looking at the next one, and we don't know today. Well, today I can't tell you if it's going to be the same location or another location, but we know one thing is we need more space, because we were full, and the response we got was probably, I would say, 5 times what we had last year.
The Farm Expo Center is right off 81. It's easy to get to.
There's a lot of available expos across this great country. So
you're not gonna shift it over to Harrisburg and the 1 million square foot facility.
Well, that would be a great place to have it. I don't want to get into political topics, but
I know.
They can.
I understand.
If they can get out of there what doesn't need to be there, and let us have the opportunity for the space, we would consider that. But, going back to also, we had some prospective guests that got delayed with flights and had some flight issues that never made it. So we want to look at, what can we do to, obviously we have the home field advantage with the Northeast, okay? But, maybe we want to look at what can we do for the rest of the country, maybe in some areas. Also, so there's the good news is we got a year, to get it to where it'll be, and maybe we'll get some help from some other people and go from there. But I think the next one will be even more tremendous, and I think a lot of people really seen the value on both ends that attended.
I hope that you're on the verge of creating the performance racing industry trade show for Demolition Derby with us.
That'd be awesome. There was all kinds of people coming up with nicknames for it over the weekend. Derby, SEMA, this, that, whatever, you know. So it's
Same idea. Yep.
you know, obviously not even on the same platform as any of them great events, but they all started somewhere.
They all started with an idea. That's right.
So, and we're willing to keep pushing for it and getting more people involved. And you know, I think a year down the road, you know, with a lot of other things relaxing, and you know, just like your instance and some other stuff, it'll just, you know, it's limitless to what we can do for the Derby industry or community.
Excellent. Well, that is great to hear. Any, I'm sure by now you're all caught up on parts too, right?
You know, actually, we went kind of nutso with trying to get stuff built for the expo, and we actually made enough inventory that we held back some in hiding because we just didn't know what would happen.
Right.
But we actually got bumpers in stock, some pedal assemblies, body mount kits. I mean, we do have several items on the shelf ready to ship. You know, of course, all of our apparel and Team America apparel. But yeah, we're in pretty good shape on parts availability right now. But that's probably going to change with us vending this weekend at No Mercy, and then, of course, you know, preparing for the Stonebro show on May 15th for the May Meltdown. So we'll be vending there plus competing. So
it's coming very fast.
It'll be here before you know it, and it's just going to be amazing to have, you know, our hometown show times 2 this year as far as we look at it. You know, I think there's still, you know, if you're a driver that's out there and you want to make the trip and sign up for an event, I think there's some compact spaces, minivans, the hardcore full size, the hobby stock. So there's still some classes left available for anybody who wants to, you know, get their hat in the ring early and come to Stonesboro, PA, and see if it's, you know, is what everybody hears about or not. You know, make your own decision. You know, sign up and show up.
There you go.
So
you can find out more.
I'm looking forward to kicking the snot out of Chance that night, so you don't want to miss that.
Excellent. You can catch up with Smith Metal Works. They're going to be at No Mercy coming up this weekend. We had a chance to catch up with TJ McCullough earlier. If you want to place an order online, smithmetalworks.info. We sure do appreciate it, Casey. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with us for a little while. I know we were late there. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. And I got to throw one more thing in, you know. And if I get done kicking the snot out of Chance that day, if anyone else is still there, you're welcome to, you know, get behind the wheel too, because we're inviting everybody to come have at it, you know.
Excellent.
Open invitation to all. How about that?
That's May the 15th. May the 15th at the Jeepers, at the Hardcore May Meltdown, so you don't want to miss it.
Yep. I'm looking for some Blizzard Bash training, so come beat the snot out of me. I'd welcome it, right?
Yes. There's no replacement for seat time, man. No replacement for seat time.
Yep. We'll see you in the near future. Thank you, guys.
Soon. Thanks, Casey.
Bye.
There goes Casey Smith. All right, and Impact had some announcements. Make sure you check out Impact Motorsports. They had some videos and stuff going on this weekend. The virtual Unified Point Series kicked off on Friday night and Saturday night with the Wall Rockers. This was the series that's going to be running parallel with the actual Unified Point Series, the virtual Unified Point Series. There is now a 7-way tie for first. There were 7 different divisions, 7 different winners. Of the available 21 point-paying positions, 19 of them went claimed, which means that Tom Schultz and Chris Parton, taking home a second and a third, they kept their second-place points. And the third-place points for those 2 divisions went unclaimed. It was awesome. And then Derek Creetlow, he had a team truck derby and a team car derby on Sunday. This is, again, on the virtual side. That was not a virtual Unified Point Series show. The next virtual Point Series event is going to be Tuesday, Crazy Dale Games. Friday night, I ran a Suburban online, and I finished second place with it because I am not as good on 4 wheels as Lee Seeger's 9-year-old son is on 3. And I got beat, but Colin Walker and Lee ran as a team, and they both won, so both of those guys got first place points. So now Lee and his boy Bubba James are tied after the first event for first place in points. So that was really cool for those guys. It was a lot of fun. As always, we'll probably do some more of those updates here this week for the gaming side of things. At this point, Frankie Guy says, go get him Casey, flexing them, flashing the guns. We'll be catching up with Frankie Guy. We'll have some more winners to get to next Monday. Brian should be back at that point as well. A challenging but a full episode for the end of April. It's quite the night, but we're through it. We sure do appreciate everybody that tuned in and hung out to be part of this one. Be safe, good luck, and we look forward to seeing everybody next time. We'll see you then.